Hey everyone, before I start this video I gotta warn you that it'll contain some spoilers about the Sith Inquisitor story, so if you're watching it after my prologue and before the rest of the story, you may want to skip it. Alright, I'm making this video to give a little clarification on the prologue and also a little more background story to my Sith Inquisitor. I want to start with clarifying that the name of the prologue, The Tragedy of Darth Imperius, is actually the name of my Sith Inquisitor. Darth Imperius is the name the Dark Council gives to Poena, my Sith Inquisitor, in the end of her story. So Darth Imperius and Poena is the same person. As far as her background story, just like the in-game Inquisitor background, she's been a slave her whole life, from as early as she can remember until the point she travels to Korriban. The way I see it, she lived in a mansion or an estate, something similar to what Lord Grathan has on Drummond Cass, only owned by another Sith, and she was one of his slaves. She was a slave at its worst. She was used for fun, pleasure, entertainment, whatever you can imagine, pretty much. They inflicted pain on her, they burned her face. You know, the scars of her face are a result of something they did to her. The makeup, I guess, is an interesting thing. She mentions that in the message she writes in her prologue. So the Doth, the owner of that estate, had a thing for her. He really liked the way she looked in that specific type of makeup. However, such makeup would take a lot of time to apply, and it angered him, the fact that she couldn't have it as soon as he wants. So what he did is, like she said, a more permanent solution. He basically tattooed the paint on her face so that she will always look as if she's wearing that makeup. Basically, she went through hell her whole life. However, she is incredibly strong minded and strong willed and a genuinely good person. Even all the pain and torture and molesting, if you will, couldn't turn her into a monster. Even though she looks a little like one, in her heart she's still a good person. I believe her strong will is more like a Jedi thing, but that's her. Oh, I should mention her name. In her message, she says that her name means pain in an ancient Sith language. It's a reference to real life. Poena actually means pain in Latin, so that's where that comes from. And when she goes to Korriban to train, she feels like she's in heaven because she's finally free from that horrible life she had. And she doesn't change, even though she's being constantly betrayed by her masters. If you remember the ghosts she binds, not even once did she use the forceful technique. She knows how to bind the ghosts, whether they agree or not, but she always tries to reason with them. She gives them her word, she gives them her blood in order for them to agree, because she hates slavery and the thought of submitting one to your will so much that she can't even do it to the ghosts. Another thing I should mention is her story on Alderaan, where she tried to convince the Jedi Knight Nomar Organa and his old love lady, what was her name? Rahana Rist, to get together and not kill them or bait them into a trap or anything like that. And she was extremely happy that she managed it because they were about to get together. Unfortunately, that was only a trick from Noma Organa. That was probably the thing that disappointed her the most. The fact that she couldn't convince these two people of her genuinely good intentions. She was probably more put down by the fact that Nomar tried to kill her than the fact that her masters betrayed her. And going back to the prologue, to the message she writes, she is now faced with the same problem. There is someone who obviously doesn't trust her. Actually, it's two people. She refers to them in the message as the two of you. So these two people don't trust her, and she's trying to convince them that she deserves their trust by telling them some more about her childhood. And that's basically the prologue and what I wanted to say for this video. Thank you for your kind comments on the prologue, and stay tuned for more. Thank you guys, and be good.